My name's Alex Olson. I'm the Managing Director of AutoWeed, and today I'm just going to be sharing an update on our green-on-green spot spraying technology developed in Queensland, specifically for sugarcane growers. What is AutoWeed? For those of you who don't know, we are a Queensland-based company working in AI technology, and we're developing green-on-green spot spraying technology. And that is basically, instead of blanket spraying your entire crop, you can use AI and camera technology mounted on the boom to detect the weeds as you're passing over and trigger the solenoids and apply herbicide in a selective fashion. The benefits here are herbicide reduction. You can actually save money on herbicide, and also you're putting less herbicide out in your paddock, which could have follow-on effects of improvement for yield benefits and benefits to the soil and the environment in that way. The system is quite simple. It's a camera and a processor mounted to a boom sprayer, similar to the image shown here. That's kind of a standard 1 meter footprint of the AutoWeed technology. And yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that a lot of our development work over the last few years has been for sugarcane specifically. So the data we've collected is for sugarcane in the Queensland region, and our systems have been applied on urban leg sprayers and on broadcast systems across the sugarcane crop cycle. So that's where we've got a lot of our experience. Yeah, this is a bit of an illustration. It's detect and spray. And as you're moving across the paddock, that camera system is doing those pickups as shown in this illustration. It runs in real time. So our expertise is to get that AI technology to run really quick within milliseconds, so that it actually sprays in the field running at about 10 kilometers per hour. That does vary. Some growers are happy to run at 8 kilometers per hour, some a bit higher. Across the sugarcane sort of growing area. The AI models that we are training are trained on data that we've collected based on a previous project that was funded by the Great Barrier Reef Foundation in partnership with James Cook University and Sugar Research Australia, where we targeted a variety of weed species across the Burdekin, the wet tropics, and the Mackay Whitsundays regions. But yeah, the benefits are really that growers can save money on chemical, and you can actually retrofit this type of technology to existing machines, rather than having to buy an entirely brand new machine. And it could be a smaller system, like a 4 to 6 meter sprayer, or a larger system, like a 13 row sprayer for sugarcane. The benefits as well, based on our past work with the Great Barrier Reef Foundation, James Cook University, and Sugar Research Australia, we did about 11 trials across the Burdekin area, and we've basically calculated the average comparison of weed knockdown for blanket spraying versus spot spraying. So we did trial strips where we blanket sprayed an area, spot sprayed an area, and compared the weed efficacy knockdown. And we found that blanket spraying was 98% effective, and our spot spraying solution was 94% effective. There was a drop in accuracy just because no AI model is perfect. You're never going to have 100% hit rate. But the more challenging the weed, the more difficult it can be to detect. So sometimes you do see variation across different weed types. But the net benefit here is you're having a machine that will be able to run over the paddock and use less herbicide, trigger across just the weeds that it sees in the paddock. And so even if we have a small percent drop in efficacy, the feedback we've got from our growers is that that's valuable still. And you could probably get over the paddock twice and still be ahead on herbicide usage. And to show you that fact, the comparison of herbicide usage for these trials was blanket spraying used around 217 litres per hectare and spot spraying used 140 litres per hectare. That's not the rate, that's the actual volume over the hectares of trials that we did. And that varies across the weed density that we saw across these trials. So some trials we had more weeds, some trials had less. You're basically going to save as much chemical as weeds you have in your paddock. Here's an example of deployment on nutgrass with an urban leg sprayer in the Burdekin region. You can see it just turning on there when there's a bunch of nutgrass. It activates earlier just so that it gives the nozzle full time to reach full application, and then it will turn off when it's finished that area. So this is just filmed with a GoPro on the back of an urban leg sprayer in the Burdekin region, targeting those nutgrass. And the efficacy results we did, we flew a drone to compare before and after what the result looked like. And then we basically counted hit weeds and missed weeds to get an estimate of hit rate. So you can see spot spraying versus blanket spraying in this approach was quite similar. This is nutgrass, and you're seeing like a basically a burn off of the nutgrass with Sempra at this time of application. For a particular case study that we did targeting nutgrass, which can have quite a costly chemical for treatment, we found that nutgrass, our AI method was 99% as effective as blanket spraying, while saving about 89% of herbicide usage on a particular paddock. For this 23-hectare paddock, the grower would save $1,388 on chemical savings alone for that paddock. I can also point out what you're seeing here is a weed map where the green area is the unsprayed area and the red area is the sprayed area. You see these like large bands of spraying? That's actually our trial treatments. So they're the blanket spray strips that I was talking about, and the spot spray strips right next to them. And then the rest of the paddock was also spot sprayed. So yeah, in this scenario, it's quite a perfect example of the benefit of this technology. And also worth mentioning, we have a project with the reef catchments for the part of their Proserpine integrated project, which is very exciting. The current work we're doing is targeting specific high priority weed species for the Proserpine region and the Mackay Whitsundays region as well, which also extends there. And we're developing AI-based solutions for some of these target weeds, and we're demonstrating the technology's environmental and economic benefit in this area. So specifically what we've done already in December of last year is a trial targeting guinea grass in the Proserpine region. And the objective of the trial is a bit different to our previous ones where we compared blanket spraying and spot spraying. For guinea grass, it's a very labor intensive exercise to go out and manually spot spray the guinea grass. So we're trying to see if this AI tool can allow you to do that job faster. It may not have the same chemical savings, but it may have significant labor savings. And it's really difficult job out there to hand spray guinea grass. And so we're doing a trial to compare the use case of this tool for this particular scenario, which is of interest. And we do have some drone data already collected showing some of the hand spray results of guinea grass versus of AI spot spraying versus hand spraying of guinea grass. And there's machine spray done with the AI. So we're still working on this. It's a really awesome project with reef catchments, and we're keen to share some of those results. What's next? We're continuing that trial and development work. We're also looking to commercialize the technology, but we are a small startup based out of Queensland, so we're looking for the funding to bring that hardware to the market soon for sugarcane growers so that they can have this technology in their hands. Yeah, thanks very much for the time to update.